My name is Amy McInnes. This is The Art of Plenty. I am a mother of 5. I am an entrepreneur in business with my husband. I am a creative, and I am a human being with feelings. And today, my feelings are hurt, and the person who hurt them doesn't even know that my feelings are hurt. We are going to dive into this because if you are like me, if you are a person who has feelings, then you are a person who has had their feelings hurt. And I am going to unpack a couple strategies for what to do when your feelings are hurt and the person who hurt them doesn't even know that your feelings are hurt, didn't even mean to hurt your feelings. And we are going to dive into that topic. But before I tell you why my feelings are hurt, I have to set the stage for you a little bit. I have to tell you the backstory so that you can have an understanding of where these hurt feelings came from. Now, if you watched my episode on YouTube, it was episode 4, and I was talking about the downside of goal setting. And if you listen to that episode, you know that I have been training for a triathlon. And here's the deal. About 3 weeks ago, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, I got this ear infection. Now, training for a triathlon, I have been swimming, I have been biking, I have been running, and I've been doing it almost every day, a couple times a day for some workouts when I do brick workouts. And I got an ear infection. So I probably got it from the pool. I had been out of town, so I had been swimming in a different pool that I don't normally swim in, and I got an ear infection. So I knew that I needed to take time off of being in the pool. I knew that I needed to be out of the pool for a bit. And with the craziness that my life is, being an entrepreneur, being a mother of 5, being a wife, I knew that I couldn't really be sick. Now, I'm saying that, and it's not as though I was really sick. I had an ear infection. But I knew with all of the demands that I had in my life, I needed to recover, and I couldn't put my body in significant strain because I couldn't be out for the count. I had to recover quickly. So I decided to take a couple days off of my training so that I could feel better. You know, get lots of fluids, get lots of rest. And I did those things, and I rested from my triathlon training, but it didn't really go away. The earache subsided, but you can probably hear the frog that is in my throat, and you can probably hear the congestion in my sinuses if you're listening to this on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. I don't necessarily look sick, but I can still hear it in my voice. So I take the couple days off, and I don't really get better. I don't necessarily get worse, but my earache goes away. So I'm thinking, okay, another day of rest. This is okay. I can take a few more days off because in my training program, I had allotted for a bit of space in case things went awry. And things went awry. I didn't really get better. So I've now taken 2.5, 3 weeks off training, and I still don't feel amazing. And I still have concern that if I go back, and because I'm in like the building phase of my training, if I go back where I'm spending like over 6 hours training a week, that my body probably isn't in a place to handle it. And it's so frustrating. And if you listened to that podcast, number 4, you know the reason why I'm doing this, and that it's connected to how I feel about my health. So while I'm processing all of this, and at first it didn't really bother me. I'm like, okay, I can take a week to rest and just make sure that my strength is back, because I can't put my life on hold. I am still working. I'm still counseling. I'm still driving my kids around. We're in the thick of lacrosse season. We're in the thick of dance competitive season. All of that is wrapping up, and lacrosse is just amping up. We are a very busy family. We have a farm. I can't take time off of everything. And that's the part that I'm wrestling with, because I knew that if I rested, then I would still be able to do the things that I really need to do, because the triathlon training is not something that I need to do. It's something that I want to do. It's something that I'm doing for myself, and it's a way to keep me focused and interested and engaged in physical activity. And I'm excited and nervous and apprehensive about it and all of those things. But on the list of priorities, it's pretty low. So it can't end me. So I'm feeling okay about taking time off from the training. But as the weeks have gone by, like, I swear the ear infection came back 3 times and I haven't fully recovered of the cold. I'll have a couple days where I feel great, and then I'm driving home from a tournament and I'm not getting home till 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm not getting the sleep that I need, or the house is just busy and I haven't fully recovered. So I haven't gone back to training. And then another week goes by, and now I'm starting to feel the angst of, oh my gosh, am I even going to be able to do this? Because this is the end of the training, because the triathlon is only a few weeks away now. And I've taken a considerable amount of time off, which is really bothering me, because I spent so much time amping up and gearing up for it. Like 12 weeks of solid training and significant commitment. So I'm kind of feeling emotional about this. And in the back of my mind, just on repeat, when I'm thinking about this, all I can hear is that Alanis Morissette song, Isn't It Ironic? Isn't it ironic that my main motivation in training for the triathlon is connected to health, and the thing that is preventing me from doing it is health? How annoying, how frustrating is that? Okay, so that is the backstage. And as you can see, I clearly have a lot of emotion around the triathlon training and not being able to do it, and feeling concerned of whether or not I'm even going to be able to do the triathlon now because I've missed so much training, and how do I feel about that, and what do I really think about the motivation that I had for doing it? These are all of the things that are circulating around in my brain that I'm trying to process, that I'm trying to unpack, and I haven't done a very good job of that. But part of me just wants to push that to the side, because I don't really know if I'm ready to dive into how I feel about all of that, and whether or not I feel disappointed or sad or angry or what the emotions are. I just know that there's a lot there, and it's like stirring around inside of me. Okay, so this is the stage for my feelings getting hurt. So I thought I had recovered. I thought I was like, okay, this is it. I'm feeling better. I'm probably going to start training. This is earlier in the week. And I get a pounding headache. I'm not a headache person. There are people that, they get headaches on a cyclical basis, or they get headaches frequently. That's not me. I don't really get headaches. And I have a headache, and it's not crazy. Like, I still have work to do. So I'm working even though I have a headache, and I'm still doing all of the responsibilities that I have to do with taking care of our family and getting people where they need to be. But I have a headache, and I'm frustrated because this headache is week 3 and a bit of not feeling amazing. And it's been up and down, but I'm annoyed about this headache. And my husband comes in, and I tell him, because he's asking me what's going on, because he can see that I'm upset or agitated and not feeling well. And I tell him I have this headache and I'm frustrated about it, but I'm not telling him I'm frustrated about it really. I'm just communicating that I don't feel good, and he knows that I'm edgy about it. Here's where my feelings get hurt. I start feeling upset that my husband hasn't made the connection. Like this is going to sound ridiculous. I'm frustrated that my husband has not made the connection between the fact that I'm not feeling good and what that means for my training. Like, give me a break, Amy. I am running around in my brain, and he is not even privy to the thoughts that I'm thinking. And he is a very conscientious person. He is very considerate. He is very loving, and he's pretty with it. Like he has a pretty good read on people's emotions. But how is he supposed to know that the reason why I'm feeling so frustrated is not just because I've been sick for a few weeks, but because what that sickness means in relation to the triathlon training? And in my mind, which he's not privy to, I'm thinking, of course he should know this. He knows me, and he does know me. But I start building up this inner thought, this story, this narrative about how he should know. He should know why this is upsetting. And not only should he know, he should be doing something about it. And when I say doing something about it, I mean that he should be reaching out to me and saying things like, oh man, that must be so upsetting. You've been really working so hard for the triathlon. You must feel really disappointed, or you must feel defeated. These are the types of comments that I'm wanting. Meanwhile, he may have no sniff, and I'm hurt because he is not cluing in to what's going on for me. But he doesn't even have a chance. He doesn't even have a chance to figure out what it is that is upsetting me because I haven't even communicated it. How many times have you gotten your feelings hurt and the person who hurt them didn't even know? You didn't even tell them that you were upset. Are you like me? Have you done this? Have you ran this type of narrative in your head where your expectations for someone else are like that they should know? And honestly, I don't even know what I communicated to him in the conversation. I certainly didn't bring up the triathlon component. I just said I had a headache. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's not being sensitive. He's not cluing into what this is really about. When really, I have no idea what's going on in his mind because I haven't asked him. He could be thinking things like, oh, Amy has a headache. She probably doesn't want to talk right now. She probably wants less noise. I should probably give her some space, give her an opportunity to relax or to chill out. That would be a considerate thought. I'm not reading it as considerate, but I don't even know what he's thinking because I haven't even asked. I've just made assumptions and I've gotten my feelings hurt because of the narrative that I'm playing in my mind. Yeah, big time, right? Do you know that this is the kind of thing, when it happens on a regular basis, that breaks down relationships? And it doesn't need to, because everything I'm thinking in relation to him, he doesn't even know me. He's not even being considerate. He could have the opposite things going on in his mind, that he is being considerate because he's giving me space and he's not continuing a conversation. Because oftentimes when people have headaches, they don't want to talk. They don't want extra noise. So now what? And if you listen to my episode on failure, episode 14, man, I hate failing. But if you listen to that episode, you know that ever since I've been a little girl, I've been a type of person who's like a dog to a bone and won't let things go and just like pulls at things and fleshes it out. I am that way in relationships. If there is somebody who has beef, if there is something going on, if someone's upset, that's what I want to do, which is probably why I'm a couples counselor, because I want to dive in to whatever is causing strife, and I want to flesh it out and pull it out and sort it out and get it all fixed. I don't like letting things go. I just want things to be fixed and I want things to be working. So that is my normal way of being. So I've been thinking, because as I said at the beginning, the person who hurt my feelings doesn't even know my feelings are hurt. I haven't actually had a conversation about what's been going around in my mind yet with Jody, because I've been contemplating how I should approach this. And normally my go-to is, if my feelings are hurt, I'm going to talk about it immediately and I'm going to spend time talking and working it out. And that has served me in many ways. But I like personal growth. I love personal development. So I want to experience and grow in new ways. So I'm kind of holding myself back. I'm holding myself back because ultimately I don't want to create damage where there's no need to create damage. Oftentimes, my tenacity for wanting to pick things apart and work it out can come out very abruptly and it can come out very quickly. And I wanted to think first. I wanted to contemplate, should I be doing something different? How could I approach this? Because I realized very quickly, like, oh, this is in my head. I don't even know what he's thinking. And I'm creating my own story about what he's thinking. And because I realized that so quickly, I decided I was going to hold off on my first knee-jerk reaction, which was to be critical. One of the big things that breaks down relationships is criticism. I did not want to criticize my husband and say things like, you don't even pay attention to how I'm feeling. How could you not have made the connection between me feeling sick and me feeling disappointed about the triathlon training? Because those are very critical thoughts. It's about what he did wrong. Meanwhile, I have no idea what he's thinking. I didn't want to be critical. Part of the reason why I don't want to be critical, I mean, honestly, it's probably never good for a relationship. But one of the things that I've really been working on in my relationship with Jody the last few months is being supportive and trying to care for him in the way that he needs to be cared for. He has been extremely busy and under a lot of pressure. You know, we're entrepreneurs and business partners, so I'm privy to all of the stress and the pressure that he's carrying. And I have been really cognizant lately of not wanting to add to it, but wanting to alleviate the stress and the pressure. I felt like if I dove right in, that with a critical comment, because that would have been my knee-jerk reaction, that I would be doing the opposite of what I've been trying to do, which is to be supportive and to be loving. So now I'm in this conundrum of what to do. And I would love to hear what you think. How should I go about this? So in my brain, there are two options, and I'm sure there are many more options, but these are the two options I've been thinking about. So coming from Gottman, who is the relationship guru, he is the person who understands what a healthy relationship looks like. So his big thing is gentle startup. So what that would mean is I approach this situation, this feelings hurt situation with Jody by saying something such as, the other day when I was telling you about my headache, part of me was feeling so upset about how that headache was going to impact my triathlon training. Now, that gentle startup opens the door for the conversation, and it opens the door for Jody to care for me and to say things like the things that I wanted to hear when I told him about the headache the other day. And it doesn't do it in a critical way, because criticism is one of those things that escalates a conversation and takes it down a negative trail. It's not helpful. But a gentle startup allows for the things that need to be said. Because what I needed, what I was looking for when I was experiencing that headache was compassion and empathy and support and love and affection. And by using a gentle startup, I can set the stage for those things to happen, which is what I really want. More than I want for him to know that I was angry or disappointed, because again, he hasn't even had an opportunity to speak to that. So that is option one. Do I bring it up with a gentle startup and have the conversation so that we can exchange affection and care for one another? Option two, do I just let it go? Totally not how I normally would do things. I am not a person that lets this kind of thing go. But I've come to realize that there are a lot of people that let things go. And I'm talking about truly letting things go. I have a son like this. If there's a situation of conflict, he just lets it go. And he really lets it go. You can see that he doesn't hold on to it and that he's at peace. He may not have said the things that I would have wanted to say in the conversation, but he doesn't need to say those things, because he just chooses that, you know what, I'm just going to get over this, and this is not a big deal. And I have a few of those people in my life, and they're beautiful when it comes to relationships. They have a beautiful way of being in the world and of interacting with others. In order to let this go, I would have to release the judgment that I had for Jody and how he responded. And I would have to replace it with things like, if I would have told him how I was feeling, he would have responded in a nurturing way. And I know that's true. So I can think that and change that narrative to be that, and it would be true. And I can choose to just let it go. Because honestly, my feelings being hurt aren't really about Jody. My hurt feelings are actually related to how I'm feeling and the disappointment that I have related to my triathlon training. And this epiphany is kind of coming to me even right now as I'm talking and as you are listening. Letting this go is about recognizing that it's not actually about Jody. It's actually about me. And maybe a better use of my time would be to explore my own feelings about how I'm really feeling about missing out on my triathlon training the last couple weeks. And that feeling of, am I even going to be able to do this? Something that I've been working hard to do and something that I've really wanted to do. So that's my question to you that are listening. And I would love to hear from you. There's a place to make comments if you're watching on YouTube and maybe even on Spotify. I got to find out. Can you comment there? I would love to know what you think. Should I bring it up with a gentle startup? Or should I let it go and invest the time to unpack why my emotions are the way that they are? Because we all need help. We all need help navigating these kind of things in our life. These things that get us off our game. These things that hurt us. These things that are difficult to process. We need help. That's why we are social beings, because when we're in communication, in relationship with one another, we can get insight in how to work things through. So I would love to hear, what would you do? What do you think I should do? Because that's what this podcast is about. This podcast is about growth. It's about being better. It's about becoming who we were always meant to be. And the way that we do that is by interacting with others, by encouraging others, by listening to others. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you're tuning in today. I'm glad that my podcast resonates with you. I've had so many fabulous comments and people reaching out to me about the episode on failure, episode 14, and how it spoke to people. And I hope that this is speaking to you too. I hope it's helping you realize when you've had thoughts in your head that haven't been shared, and is helping for you to dive into feelings, because feelings are messy and they're uncomfortable. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing your time with me. It has been an honor. I'm Amy McInnes, and this is the art of plenty.